Hi guys, this is the first of a three-part video that we're doing with Hyundai, and we're very excited to share this with you because we are going to talk about how Hyundai has evolved as a brand and as a car maker over the past few decades. Now today we have Mr. Vincent Ng with us. He's the commercial manager of Komoco Motors. Thank you very much, Vincent, for joining us today.
Thank you, Julian.
So now that we're on this topic, right, it's very interesting because I really want to find out why the Ioniq is such an important model to Hyundai. But okay, so before I touch on that, let's talk about how the car maker forayed into the whole electric and hybrid technology. Sure. If memory serves correctly, there was a Hyundai Sonata hybrid, but that model never came to Singapore. Why? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, I think if you look back in history, Hyundai has been doing electric cars, electrified cars, since the 1990s. So in fact, recently, we celebrated our 30th anniversary developing electric and electrified vehicles. The Sonata is a very important milestone in our journey, but that's just 12 years ago. So actually our history with hybrid technology is actually more recent than what we have been doing with other models like fuel cell and full electric. But because development was done mainly in Korea, which is a left-hand drive market, the car went on to sell in America.
I see.
Yes, and it never came to Singapore mainly because there was never a right-hand drive model.
I see, okay, that makes sense. Okay, now that you talked a bit about fuel cell technology, we fast forward to 2013. Then I remembered them having, or rather I remember Hyundai having the iX35 fuel cell vehicle.
That's right.
Now that technology kind of allowed Hyundai to position itself as a world leader in fuel cell technology development.
That's right.
Now we move forward a little bit more. I remember Hyundai unveiled the Nexo to the public at the 2019 Motor Show, Singapore Motor Show.
That's right.
The Nexo vehicle, correct me if I'm wrong, is it the only fuel cell vehicle that you can just outrightly buy from any Hyundai showrooms?
Spot on, Julian, because in America, in the UK, and in Korea, where there is established infrastructure for hydrogen refueling, actually you can just step into the showroom and buy a new Nexo fuel cell electric vehicle.
I see.
Okay. Now we have been in the fuel cell business a little bit longer than hybrid vehicles, surprisingly. All right. Yes. And we started with the Tucson SUV. So it even dates back before the iX35.
I see.
So the iX35 was actually a full-fledged fuel cell electric vehicle that you can buy. And the Nexo is the successor of the iX35 fuel cell electric vehicle. So we actually already have about 20 years developing and proving and at the same time bringing hydrogen fuel cell technology to our consumers. So it has been a long time, Julian.
Okay. This is interesting because speaking of bringing to consumers, I also want to touch on the Ioniq, which is the main topic why I'm here today.
That's right.
It's very interesting because the Ioniq, as you and I both know, is a vehicle that has 3 electrified powertrains in a single body type.
Correct.
So it makes it a very unique car in its class. Now, I also remember that this year Motor Show 2020, you guys unveiled the facelifted Ioniq electric and hybrid, right?
Correct.
So back to the question that I want to ask, why is the Ioniq such an important model to Hyundai?
As a concept of electrification, everybody needed a journey to full electric.
Okay.
But you could end up with full electric in a fuel cell.
Okay.
So it is a long haul, but you need to start somewhere. So we are all used to pumping petrol. So the first step, of course, is to save fuel. In countries like America and Europe, some people are used to plugging in, but they need to have long range. So the plug-in hybrid.
Yes.
So in Singapore, that is not so relevant. So we never got around to launching it.
Okay.
And of course, we introduced the Ioniq electric a little while later. But since 2017, when we first launched the Ioniq, it has been quite popular and it has also proven itself over the years. So in 2019, Hyundai announced a full, or rather not full, but a major product enhancements which resulted in you seeing the 2020 facelifted according to your words, all right? But it's actually a product enhanced version of the Ioniq.
Yes.
And this is a very important model because from the hybrid journey, we are talking about electrification.
Okay.
All right. So the product enhanced Ioniq hybrid brings electric vehicle technology to hybrid vehicles.
Okay.
So this is the first hybrid vehicle in the world, all right, to allow the user to select the levels of brake regeneration.
Right.
This is something that you only find in a full electric vehicle.
Right. Okay.
So we are still in the process of moving customers from hybrid vehicles to full electric vehicles. And I think this is a very important vehicle for Hyundai,
Okay.
and a very important vehicle for consumers.
I see. Okay. Wow. That's very, very interesting. Okay, guys, so there you have it. Today we touched on why the Ioniq is such an important model to Hyundai. Thank you very much, Vincent, for your time.
Thank you, Julian.
Next up in the following episode, we'll be touching on why the Kona Hybrid is the car to take note of. So guys, thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, stay safe and be well.